Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Preaching to the um.
What's up, YouTube? Mike here from the YouTube channel Forbidden Fruit. Today on the Clown Car Cavalcade Outreach Program, I'm going to be trying to reach out to G-Man, who made another ridiculous hangout video calling out myself and Sarah and Alex Botten and a couple of other people. So this is like a 4-hour hangout chock full of idiocy and the usual G-Man style that we're all used to. So this is really the reason that I created the Clown Car Cavalcade, to deal with issues such as this that I don't want to just clutter my own personal YouTube channel with. So today we're going to be getting into the G-Man video, and I'm going to be going into rebutting that and just sort of pointing out some of the errors and inconsistencies and lies and outrageously humorous or idiotic videography. Just really getting into the depths of G-Man. So let's get to a piece of his video, and as always with my rebuttal with my rebuttal videos, we'll have commentary to follow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. Let me make sure I said that correctly. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. It sounds like I said something else. I don't know.
Well, isn't that magical? I don't understand why G-Man, when he goes to do a live broadcast, he likes to start the broadcast and then fuck around for a period of time. You know, it's like the video starts and then he's just kind of fucking looking around, a little tweaking going on a little bit, and then we get the introduction and then some coughing and then a reintroduction, because he apparently forgot whether he said the correct thing the first take. How long have you been doing this, G-Man? Do you take this project seriously? It certainly doesn't appear that you do. See, this channel that I'm doing here is aimed at entertainment, and I understand that that's what you've said your channel is geared toward. So maybe you don't really care about seeming professional. I'm gonna leave most or maybe even all of the bloopers, as it were, in the videos on this channel, just because I think it goes to the humorous quality of what I'm trying to do here. But when I make Forbidden Fruit videos, I really endeavor to provide the best possible content. Even on my live hangouts, I've rearranged my video space here so that when I do live hangouts, hopefully they will look better than the just disgusting background that I've had going on. You still see that fucking line there? I'm working on that. Somebody commented that bothers him. It bothers me too. Hopefully it'll be less bothersome off to the right there a little bit. Well, it's actually, yeah, camera, right. Anyway, back to G-Man.
And then this edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries, I'm going to be calling out Botten. You know who I'm talking about. Alex Botten, Sarah, and Kat.
What? No Forbidden Fruit? What the fuck? Botten, Sarah, and Kat? How the fuck did I not get grouped into this little series of call-outs here? He doesn't claim that he's going to call me out, so I'm assuming at no point in the making of this video is my name going to be mentioned, because he's clearly not calling me out. He is calling out Sarah and Alex Botten. If I remember reading correctly in the comments, I know that I notified G-Man personally that Sarah would not be available when he set the time for this hangout. That was during our Christmas vacation. We were staying up rather late, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and sleeping in. And he set the hangout for about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock our time, and I knew there was no way she was going to be ready to do that before. So before she even saw that she'd been called out, I went ahead and let G-Man know up front that the likelihood of her making it to that hangout was slim to none, and yet he still chose to proceed with his ridiculous hangout and try to call out her and Alex. Alex also, I'm quite certain, indicated well in advance that he was not going to be available. And this is the sort of typical G-Man tactic. This is why you'll never see a video from me where I'm calling someone out. Number one, because as egotistical as I am, I don't really feel like people should just come when beckoned. Even really anyone. I would never presume that anyone in this community or anywhere on YouTube would just suddenly take time out of their day to jump into a scheduled hangout on my channel merely because I beckoned them. So it's an outrageously egotistical position G-Man takes there, and he loves to do that. He seems to think that by calling someone out and then having them not show up, that makes them a coward. No, G-Man, it just means they have a fucking life, something that you should work on getting. We don't just jump when you say to, and we don't just build our lives around your hangouts. They really just aren't that important. And it really actually, for me, is a lot better to just not be a part of them and then let him go live and make a fool out of himself like he does in this video, and then I can just tear it apart later. Gets a lot better track time on my channel, so rock on, G-Man. Keep up the good work.
Somebody in here? True empiricism, is that you?
I'm confused. How do you manage to not know who's in your hangout? I know that I'm relatively new to the Google Hangouts and live broadcast thing. I don't know what the fuck G-Man looks at when he's doing a hangout. How is it that he doesn't seem to know whether someone is in his hangout or not? Generally, on my hangouts, I think every hangout that I've ever seen, you get a little box pop up that indicates that someone's joined the hangout, and they have the little fucking name and picture there. It's usually pretty simple to tell. I don't really follow how it is that G-Man doesn't know who is in his hangout. Maybe he's asking if anyone's there, like maybe he's just talking to himself. Is anyone home? Yep, no, still no one's home.
Okay, I thought somebody was in here. I'm gonna cut my camera off because it seems to be slowing down my bandwidth.
No, your camera doesn't slow down your bandwidth. See, the way the internet works, G-Man, is you have a certain amount of bandwidth. You have a certain amount of data that you can broadcast over the internet, and that's determined by your internet speed. That's the amount of bandwidth you have. If you're stealing internet, I'm not saying you are, I was just saying hypothetically speaking, if you were leeching off someone else's internet connection and they were using it while you were using, then that would cut down on the bandwidth available to you. But the bandwidth is determined by the connection itself. So when you're broadcasting video, it takes up more of your bandwidth. It requires more bandwidth to broadcast video than it does just audio. But the video is not reducing your bandwidth total, it's just taking up some of it. So I think there seems to be a confusion on your part as to how an internet connection works. I would advise you to invest in more bandwidth, in a higher speed internet, because if you can't broadcast video, damn, I mean, I just don't know what kind of a connection you're working with. I've broadcast video over 4G LTE connection, so I don't know what kind of network you got going there, buddy, but you might want to think about getting into an upgrade sometime soon.
So just give me a minute. Okay, I got my YouTube thingy on. I gotta stop that. Hold on. That's what that was. I thought somebody was in the room.
So G-Man does hear voices. He thought someone was in the room, but it was just the fact that he had his YouTube live feed playing in the background. So the voices that he was hearing were his own, and he wanted to attribute them to true empiricism. He thought someone was in the room. I wonder if that happens a lot for G-Man, if sometimes he hears voices in his head and thinks maybe God's in the room. Maybe he thinks that's where he gets his revelation from. The voices inside his head that he attributes to other people like God, true empiricism, who knows what else. But I find it rather comical that he wasn't able to recognize his own voice coming back through the live feed on his end. Makes you really wonder about any personal experiences that he would have. If he can't recognize his own voice, why should we trust him to recognize God's voice or God's inspiration or really anything at all?
Okay. So let me get back to the Hangout. I'm not gonna stop that. Okay, let's get down to this, guys. Probably let you guys know. Apparently, you guys out there think I don't know that Alex Botten said that he was not going to come today. Let me see if this will work on my camera. Hold on. And some people naively believe that somehow is going to help Alex Botten and hurt me if he doesn't come on this show here today. But I promise you this, the exact opposite is going to be true. Here's the thing, okay?
Jesus Christ. I'm about ready to kill myself already. I mean, this is so fucking boring. Why are we sitting through him like play by play, switching screens, fucking around? Is he ready? Is he not ready? Let me get a drink of water. What the fuck is going on in this broadcast? This is just totally phoned in. I'm actually eating now in the middle of this one because, like I said, this is a fuck off channel. But G-Man is just totally phoning in this broadcast. I don't understand how a person who seems to be so interested in conveying a message could be so unprofessional in the process of doing so. And so we got another fact claim there that this is going to go badly for Alex Botten. So let's see how G-Man manages to do that.
The only reason I'm calling Alex Botten out because Alex Botten has gotten on YouTube. I want to remind everybody what he is. He's an atheist. He claims he does not believe that God exists. Okay? He claims his brand of morality is better than that of any theist or Christian here on YouTube. Okay? Now, Alex Botten has the ability to come on this program to defend himself. So does his wife, Kat. If they choose not to come on here, that is their own decision.
Well, congratulations, Alex Botten. I assume that you're going to be very happy to find out that you now have permission to not come on G-Man's Hangout. Apparently, you have the total free will to make that decision. Not only you, but your wife as well. You guys are free to choose whether or not you want to go to a G-Man Hangout. So in case you were under some misunderstanding that you were required to attend all call-outs, you are free from ever having to do that again. So I hope that you will sleep better tonight knowing that you no longer have this responsibility.
Alex Botten naively believes in his own mind that because I'm a quote-unquote joke or a laughing stock here on YouTube, that what I'm going to say what I'm going to say today isn't going to matter. But again, I gave Alex Botten the opportunity to come. I closed my Skype. My Skype is not open right now. He would have to contact me over Google Plus if he wants the link. I am not making the link public unless nobody shows up. Then I'm going to try to turn this into a hangout. But anyway, Alex Botten lied on Veckel.
Yeah, I think what you meant to say was lied about. You don't lie on a person. If Alex Botten lied on Veckel, that would be suggesting that he was lying on top of him. If he said something that was a lie and attributed it to Veckel, then that would be lying about Veckel. You could say that he lied on Veckel's Hangout or in Veckel's Hangout or lied on Veckel's comment. But to say that he lied on Veckel in the context that you're using in here, suggesting that he made he said something that was a lie, you're gonna want to change the way you use that phrase there. Lied about Veckel is the proper grammar for what I think it is that you're trying to say.
Veckel is a very close friend of mine. I love him like he's not just my brother in Christ. I love him like he's a blood brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna go further out on a limb here and say that you and Veckel are not actually friends. I think that you may think that you're friends with Veckel. I don't think Veckel has really much respect for you at all. I could be wrong. Admittedly, this is complete and total conjecture. Veckel has said some outrageous things that I've heard in Hangouts, but I don't believe he is as insane as G-Man here. I think that Veckel, I think pretty much anyone who what's the term I'm looking for here? Interacts with G-Man, pretty much anyone who has interactions with G-Man, I think they really do it for their own personal gain or for some kind of climb onto his publicity wagon, because train wrecks tend to get a lot of viewers. People like to watch a train wreck, and so I think at best Veckel really just uses G-Man. I think G-Man is really used by everyone that interacts with him. He's certainly used by TJ and the Drunken Peasants. And I think that it's rather sad to me, really, that that he doesn't seem to know what a true friend is. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe somebody could cite me some examples of where Veckel has displayed behavior consistent with really being G-Man's friend. But I'm gonna guess that probably hasn't happened.
Me and Veckel fight, and we disagree on some things. Veckel sometimes tries to do it in public, but he's really big on Matthew 18. I can honestly say he's one of the few people on YouTube who's had a disagreement with me and has not blown up on me on YouTube.
Fuck, I really hate to be wrong, but damn, maybe I'm wrong. If Veckel hasn't blown up on G-Man, maybe they are friends.
Veckel takes the scriptures very seriously. That's one thing I respect about him. I love him to death for it. So Veckel's taking a break from the Google Hangout scene. At least that's what he told me. So I'm going to be defending him, because I know that if Veckel heard something that was false about me, and he knew that it was false, that he would defend me. That's what friends do. Okay. Now, the atheist community, or I'm sorry, not the atheist community. Let's start with Alex Botten, because Alex Botten is a lying slanderer here on YouTube. He wants all of you to believe that Veckel is pro-slavery.
Yeah, I think that's pretty consistent. If somebody asks me a what-if question, for example, if someone were to say to me, hey, Mike, if you had been alive during the plantation days in America, would you have felt that it was morally sound to own slaves? And I were to say yes, then that would make me fucking pro-slavery. If somebody asked me a what if question, I feel like I can see skin on the edge of my nose that's reflecting the light, and it's distracting me. If someone were to ask me a what if question about slavery, and I were to answer that question indicating a pro-slavery stance, then it would be accurate for someone to say that I'm pro-slavery. I mean, a what-if question is a completely legitimate question to diagnose the personality, the beliefs of a person. There was a question sort of posed to me or brought up in a hangout that I was in several days ago, where somebody made a comment about, if there was a baby in the road, everyone would run and try to save that baby in risk of their own life. And I very candidly said, maybe not. I mean, do I know this baby? Is this baby, do I have any affinity for this baby? Is this a random baby? I may not save the baby. I have to be fucking honest. If I'm standing by the side of the road and somehow a baby manages to get into the road and a car is coming and I have a choice between my life and its life, I don't think I'm going into traffic. I'm just saying. So if someone wants to say, because I answered that question, that what if question, if someone wants to say that I'm a psychopath or that I'm some kind of sick fuck because I choose to not, because I stated that I would not necessarily go into traffic and risk my life to save that of a baby, then that would not be an inaccurate statement. I couldn't say that I was being slandered if someone said that I was calloused toward the plight of other people after answering a what if question that indicated a calloused behavior toward the plight of other people. That would not be slander. That would be an accurate representation of what I said. So I have not seen this hangout, but if Veckel answered a what if question suggesting a pro-slavery attitude, then it would be consistent to say that he's pro-slavery. That's sort of how dialogue works.
He was put in a what if situation, and because he answered the question according to a what if, that makes him pro-slavery. But because, if it's true, and let's say I want to agree with you that Veckel is pro-slavery, I have several of you live in a Google Hangout saying that if a nuclear bomb was going to fall in New York and you had to rape a baby or rape a woman to stop the bomb from being dropped, you would do it. That's a what if situation. It's a highly unlikely situation.
Who the fuck posed this question?
However, since Veckel would be pro-slavery, that means the atheists who came on my channel and said that, and for all of you who agree with that, are some really sick individuals. If you think that you would have it in you to rape a baby or rape a woman to stop a bomb from falling on New York, if it was up to me, bye New York, see you later. Bomb fell on Los Angeles, bye Los Angeles. Because I'm not raping nobody to stop a bomb from falling down. There are other ways of dealing with stuff like that.
Yeah, now I'm even more confused. I thought the original what if was that would you commit this atrocity, this heinous act, in order to, if that was the only way that you could stop the bomb from falling. And then he wants to go and twist the shit there at the end. Straw man, I think. Is that fair? Is that a fair straw man? I think, yeah. He makes the argument that if someone said that they would commit this atrocity to stop the bomb from falling, under the understanding that that was the only way to stop the bomb from falling, he then calls the person that says yes to this sick and disgusting because he would never commit such an action because there's always a better way to do that. Well, the better way to do that is a straw man. So he just erected a new proposition that was not part of the original what if question and then defeated it and then used that to attain a moral high ground. So there you go, G-Man. There is a straw man that you just built and annihilated to try to make yourself look better to prove a point, and the only point that you have proven is that you're a moron. Shocking.
So what the atheist community does is they try to get you in what if situations, and then as soon as you agree to the what if, they begin to slander, lie, and misrepresent you. And then the atheist community has the audacity.
Jumping fucking Jesus. How many times is this word gonna get just slaughtered by Christian apologists? He just said the audacity. Jason Burns says the taudacity. The word is audacity. Okay, audacity. There's no T, there's no R. It's audacity. Say that with me. Audacity. See how that just kind of rolls off the tongue? Audacity. I have the audacity to make the claim that you are a complete moron for having a clear inability to master the English language.
I asked Alex Botten to do the same thing over Skype yesterday. He told me that himself and his wife will not be coming on this channel. Do you want to know why Alex Botten is not coming on this channel? It has nothing to do with me being a joke, or being a butt of everyone's jokes on YouTube. Alex Botten is not going to come on here because Alex Botten doesn't have any evidence.
Whoa, there you go with a classic G-Man move. Alex Botten clearly stated that he and his wife were not coming on the Hangout. And then G-Man wants to suggest, he wants to put words into his mouth, he wants to conjecture and make a fact claim and say that the real reason Alex Botten is not coming on to the Hangout is because he has no evidence. See, this is the nature of the idiocy and the very underhanded approach that G-Man takes. He wants to call you out to a Hangout that he sets without confirming the time with you. He just decides to have a Hangout, calling you out, demanding that you make account for statements that you've made. And then if you don't fit that into your schedule, then he just turns around and says, well, the reason you're not here is because you have no evidence. which is complete bullshit. I mean, maybe he doesn't have any evidence, but you can't just jump to that conclusion. It would be one thing if G-Man and Alex Botten had come to an agreement and said, okay, we're going to have a hangout at this time, and then Alex Botten legitimately chickened out. Or stated, I have no evidence, therefore I'm not going to appear in your hangout. But that right there really is a slanderous accusation. It's certainly, let's see, do I need, maybe I need to confirm that. I would hate to be committing a G-Man fallacy by making a statement that was not true. So let's see if that qualifies for slander. Let's see, slander. Slander, the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. That's the noun. Verb, making false and damaging statements about someone. So if Alex Botten respectfully declines an invitation to G-Man's hangout, and then G-Man goes online and says that the reason Alex Botten is not coming to the hangout is because he has no evidence to back up his claim, I think it's safe to say that if a person believes that statement, that would be damaging to Alex Botten's reputation. And since G-Man cannot prove that statement, then he just slandered Alex Botten. So G-Man just engaged in a criminal behavior. He just slandered Alex Botten on a live hangout. Wow.
None. Nothing. What he has is people putting Veckel in what-if situations. That is what Alex Botten has. And Alex Botten, being the liar and slanderer that he is, has no problem burying somebody's name for his own personal entertainment.
Wow, so G-Man just continues to dig himself further into a hole. If I was Alex Botten, which clearly I'm not, but if I were, I would now be requesting that G-Man back up those statements that he just made. He just called Alex Botten a liar and a slanderer. And if he's going to make that statement about somebody without factual evidence, then he's once again slandering Alex Botten. He is once again attempting to damage Alex Botten's reputation. And if he has no evidence for that claim, if he cannot prove that Alex Botten is a liar and a slanderer, then he is guilty of lying and slandering Alex Botten, and he should be called to task for that. And this kind of behavior should not be tolerated by anyone. The Christian community, the atheist community, any community should not tolerate behavior like this because it's criminal, for one, and for two, it's just really, really unsavory. And this is really just the MO of G-Man. This is G-Man for G-Man, just in case. MO, that's modus operandi, depending on how you want to say it. Mode of operation, it's Latin for mode of operation. You really need to look at what you're doing, G-Man, because at the very least, you're just being a real prick. And at the very worst, you're in the commission of a crime when you make claims like you just made. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here because it's already getting lengthy. This is a 4.5 hour hangout, and so I think I'm just going to cut this here as being sort of my defense of Alex Botten. And in the beginning of this hangout, before we even really get to the accusations that he's made about Sarah. So I think I'll just take this hangout and see how much track I can get out of it by cutting it up into multiple pieces. So there you have it, part one of G-Man's calling out Alex Botten, Sarah, and Kat, I believe it was. And I think we've uncovered, at the very least, that G-Man really embodies all of the things that he claims to hate in other people, and goes to near criminal lengths to attempt to prove his point. So stay tuned to the next episode of Clown Car Cavalcade Outreach, where I'll go into the second portion, or another portion, of this marathon hangout of idiocy. So I hope you've enjoyed your visit here to the circus, and despite what I'm clearly doing, under no circumstances should you continue to feed these animals.